Hi guys, I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. So on this video, what are we gonna do is we have all these components for building a mining rig, and I'm going to just explain a little bit about every single one of them, because these are questions that I had me as a beginner, because this video is for beginners, not for all those people that know how to build a rig already. That there is more like knowledgeable people teaching that, but this is gonna be like weird, probably for people who know about building this are gonna be like weird or like nonsense question, but weird questions anyways. But let me just explain. Let's begin. All right, to build a mining rig, we need a few components, which I have laid them down here, and I'm gonna be explaining since the beginning. So first, what we need is a motherboard. Okay, I'm gonna explain you this. You don't need this motherboard exactly, and I have a very good example right here, because look, this is especially for mining. But on this hand right here, I have a motherboard, a gaming motherboard, which it has 6 PCIe slots, and that's very good. Even I see some people using this type of motherboard only with 3 slots, and they use PCIe splitters or multipliers, whatever is the term, and they have used those kind of motherboards. So that out of the way, so we need a motherboard. If you want to write down what do you need, or probably I will just put a list down below on the description, part by part. I don't know if I'm gonna leave any link down here, because most of these parts, like, they don't exist. I mean they do exist, but most of them, like, there are crazy prices or sold out. So whatever, let's do this again. We need a motherboard. Okay, after we get our motherboard, we need to get a CPU. We need to get the CPU. In this case, I grabbed this CPU used for some reason, because this CPU, especially for this kind of motherboard, are really expensive, and I'm gonna get there in one moment. Let me just unwrap this CPU, and here we have the CPU itself. It's an i7. This is the reason that I purchased this one, because it's an i7, and it cost me a lot less than me buying a Pentium or a Celeron CPU. I ordered the CPU cooler, which is the third piece we need. We need the motherboard, we need the CPU, and we need the cooler. This cooler will keep our CPU a good temperature. I will not let it like burnt or something like that. So I explain again, I'm gonna tell you again, this video is for like complete beginners. If you have never done this is gonna give you like a really good detailed experience of what do you need, like, from the beginning. Okay, when we get our motherboard, there is hundreds of models of different motherboards, brands, and models. So we have a bunch of them. So what do? Like, you got the motherboard and just type CPU on your search, or eBay, Amazon, any other of the marketplace? Of course not. You need to realize you have a motherboard, and you need to match the specifications for this motherboard with the CPU you're gonna get. This motherboard do not work. For example, this one do not work with like 9th generation CPUs, or even 8th generation. We can find this information right here on the front. As you guys can see, this one can support 7th gen CPUs, as you guys can see right here. If we're gonna flip this to understand a little better, okay, here we have some information. As you guys can see, you have to pay attention to this information right here. As you guys can see, CPU support 7 and 6th generation Intel Core i7, i5, i3, Pentium, and Celeron. So this specific CPU, and I looked for this video so much and I couldn't find it. I could not find this video, like where to tell, hey people, please, I'm like a newbie, I don't know what I'm doing, please tell me what CPU could I use on this ASRock H110 Pro BTC. Which CPU could I use? So again, let's go back here, and you guys can see here we have the explanation. We can use a 7th generation and a 6th generation a CPU. So, and also here we have another clue. The chipset, the socket, and the on this motherboard is for a LGA 1151 type of CPU. So we need to match these two, 7th gen, 6th gen, and also the socket 1151. So when you look for your CPU, you have to match that information on this box. The manufacturers give you that whatever it says right here, it'll be supported by this motherboard. So let's go back to our CPU and check. So we have here an Intel Core i7, and as you guys can see here, we can take a look. It's an i7 6700. On this type of CPU, the 6 is gonna be the generation of this CPU. So I already did a research on this one, and this one will match on the ASRock H110. So first, for me to buy this CPU, I had to make sure it fits, and also if this motherboard supported. It's all these little details that it's hard to get it sometimes, because we're not a like, for example, I want to get into this and there is no like there is not like a book like what to tell. I mean, there is a book of course, but you know, we're trying to find information always like the faster. So I'm just giving you this information right here fast. So and after that was easy. I just looked for this kind of CPU, and I got the Intel CPU cooler, which it also come, if you guys don't know, for this, to put this together, you need a paste, it's like a heat thermal paste. This will keep a good contact between the cooler, which is made out of some kind of metal, and this cover for the CPU. This will get hot, and the heat will be transferred to this CPU cooler, and there is a fan on the top, as you guys can see right there. There is a fan on the top that will dissipate all that heat coming from the CPU. So you see, we need this paste to put these two together. So this is a complete beginner video. I don't know, for some people are gonna be useful, for some people are gonna be like, maybe they get angry, but anyways, as you guys can see, I opened this one and voila. What is that? It comes with the paste pre-installed, just in case you don't know how to apply this. It already have it. It has it already, so we don't have to do anything. Just basically clip this. After we install our CPU, all we have to do is clip this on the motherboard. So okay, let's put that on the side. After that, we get more information here. As you guys can see, if we are gonna use an Intel GPU, 7th generation GPU, we probably gonna need a DDR4 RAM, the type of 2400 megahertz. And if we're gonna use Intel 6th generation. We're gonna need DDR4. As you guys can see, DDR4, because there is older type of RAM, which is DDR3 or even older. So make sure when you buy the RAM, you specifically buy DDR4, and then the number we can just the second number 2133, that we can just look in the RAM we're gonna purchase if it's compatible with this frequency. So let's go back to the RAM we got very slowly. And here we go, comparable with 2400 and 2133. So this RAM right here, this RAM, and also is DDR4. These will be more than enough to provide this motherboard the RAM necessarily to operate. So we have a good RAM right here. So you guys can see when you buy the motherboard, just look at the box of the RAM and see like it is compatible with my motherboard. And then if it's compatible and you like the price, you can go ahead and buy it. I bought this one from Best Buy. I used 1-for-1 rig then I built, and I'm gonna just use this one. But this one I paid, I think, like $78. I could get the probably the 3000, like 3000, but I just choose to buy the 3200. So that's pretty good. So I just wanted to buy this one. It was like $5 different. So we have this clear. I don't know, like, I hope I explained. We have the motherboard, we have the CPU. That's how you're gonna purchase the CPU. You're gonna look for that information to match your CPU. We need the heatsink, the cooler for the CPU. We need the RAM. So that will make this assemble like that. So let's say we have our motherboard ready. So what else do we need? There is one thing that I'm missing here. Is only one thing that I'm missing, and I'm gonna tell you probably at the end. Because there is one thing that I'm missing. Okay. After that, we need the power supply. How much power do we need to power our rig? That's gonna be very different from like, you have to consider what kind of GPUs are you gonna put in your rig. Are you gonna put the high-end GPUs like the 3090, that monster? Are you gonna put a 1070, like not such a power-hungry video card? Maybe a 2060, which is it has two 8 pin connectors. So this part, it's gonna be up to you guys. But to be honest with you, like, if you're gonna buy, for example, if you're gonna build a rig with 6 graphic cards, maybe you're gonna build a 1660s. They utilize less than 100 watts of power each. So maybe you can be good with one of these 1300 watts power supply, or maybe you can buy 2 850 power supplies or 2 750 power supply, depending on your power need. Is that's how big you're gonna buy the power supply. So that is totally up to you, because if you probably gonna use like 3080's card, that card even after overclocking spent more than 200 watts of power. So, and these are rated like 80 plus gold. When that rating is about how much your power it's gonna be decreased when you go and use the wattage for this power supply. Like let's see what we can find over here. It tells you right there all the information. Let's see, and these ones they already come with cables, so you don't have to worry about cables. Usually like this one, it has 6 slots for the 6-8 pin connectors, so it will come with usually come with 6 cables. So let's just put that on the side. So okay, this was kind of hard for me to explain, but it's very difficult to explain that part. Like for if you don't know which kind of memory you're gonna use, GPU, it's hard to explain. So we have that, we have the power supply, and then we're gonna move to this other part. We're gonna move to the risers. When we have a motherboard like this, any kind of motherboard, then you know we're not gonna put our GPUs directly into the motherboard. We're gonna build something like that. Our GPU is gonna be hanging away from the motherboard. So what we're gonna use for that? We're gonna use these pieces, these components that I call risers. We're gonna use these to connect our GPUs to the motherboard. And you can buy this one on eBay. You can buy the sets of 6, it will be cheaper. So this piece will connect to the motherboard through a USB to the riser, and with the cables from the power supply, we're gonna feed these risers, and also we're gonna feed our GPUs. So they come with some cables that we are never gonna use, because these cables are useless for the type of power we need on these risers. Some of these cables are not safe to use, and you can find more information about this with other fellow miners that they have good video about talking about cables. So this video is most likely to identify what is what. So let's put that on the side. So we need, that's the riser, and then we need the cables, maybe some cables. If you have a used power supply, you're gonna need a cable. Make sure you buy the right cable for your power supply, which they are not universal. I have this one that is for an EVGA power supply, and it's not the same that to this one that is for a Corsair power supply. So there is definitely a difference between these two cables, that it looks similarly the same, but they are different. So you cannot use them on, like, they're not universal. That's the point I'm trying to make. They are not universal. So if you have an EVGA power supply or a Corsair power supply, or even a different kind of power supply, always look for the compatible cables for it. So for the PCIe cables, so make sure you get that the right on the right website, the right information, because sometimes they mix the information. So all right, so we have covered so far. We have the motherboard, we have the CPU, we have the CPU cooler, we have the RAM, we have the power supply, we have the risers, we have the PCIe cables to the power supply. All right. Right now we have other options. We can use splitters. And why do we, or why we have to, or maybe we don't have to, but why do we use splitters? Because like power supplies, for example, this one only has like 6 slots for PCIe cables like this. Only 6. That says you can only connect 6 of these cables on the back. But sometimes we have, especially we are using risers, we need a lot of connections, I could say. For example, I can utilize one single a connection right here to the motherboard, and I can power maybe 2 or 3 risers with only one connection or one slot on the power supply. For you to understand better, let me take one of these cables out. Let me take this one out. Sorry to make this video so long, but I guess I figure this is good information for somebody who is trying to do this. Okay, as you guys can see, this cable is already has a splitter. I have 8-pin connection, which is the one straight. Okay, I have one 8-pin connection. This goes to the power supply. Don't connect it otherwise. Don't. Usually the connection that goes to the GPU, it has 6 plus 2. That's what they call it, 6 plus 2. But the one that goes directly to the power supply is a 8 connector straight like this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna plug that on the power supply, and maybe, just maybe, you gotta check the power consumption. Connect one of these to this end, to the end of one of those, and then you see you end up with three connections. So with 3 8-pin adapters. So you end up with 3 8-pin adapters, which probably you can use to power the risers. You see, it's recommended for the riser to use the 6-pin connection. So you guys can see we have also some claim that you can use also the Molex, which is this big long connector right here with you see 4 pins. But most of the people, to be safe, they use the 6-pin connection right here, and usually they come with an adapter, 6-pin adapter to SATA connection. So, but it's not recommended. I heard like it can have some problems. Maybe you can end up burning your rig if you use this. So I heard everybody says it's not recommended to use this, so don't use it. So like I said, to power, to feed your riser, you might need one of these. So you can use maybe one slot on your power supply, and you will end up having 3 different connectors. You guys can see, because they also come like 6 plus 2. So you can just like maybe split this 8-pin connection. This cable, to be honest with you, I ordered it. They're really rigged. I think they're good quality cables. I have on my other rig. I'm gonna show you quick. I hope you can see this little cheaper cables. I ordered some of those, but for some reason I got them. I don't know where I put them, but I'm gonna be using those cheaper ones too on this rig. So far we have splitters, we have cables, we have covered some of the information. This is very basic information for somebody who, this is for the guy who never built a rig before, or a computer, because if you build a computer before, all this information is you don't need all this information. Might be even not as good as what you know. So all right, we have the risers, we have everything. So now we got to a point like of course we're gonna need a power button. I just bought this power button, but usually the rig, when you buy the rig, they come with power buttons. But I just bought this one to have extras. So you guys can see the power button. You will connect this to the power pin on the motherboard, and then you have these two of them here, if you see them. And then you see, you heard the click. Then you just click to turn it on. So that's all the work this thing does. So maybe you can buy this, or some of the motherboards, like in case of this motherboard, it comes already with a power on button. As you guys can see, it comes with it already. So all right, we have covered all this information. What is, let's see. Okay, we have everything. Literally at this point we have everything to build our system. Okay, but we're missing a very good component, which is the memory, the hard drive. We have different hard drives. I'm gonna show you the one on this rig. I have a Samsung SSD. It's this a square thing right here. As you guys can see, square. Some of the motherboard you can put them directly, like the motherboard that come with an M2. This motherboard also come with an M2 adapter right here. As you guys can see, this is, and you can buy the stick and just install it in there, or you can even use the hard drive, the HDD. You know, you can find in all computers. But I would prefer to use maybe an SSD. They're inexpensive right now. Let me just probably put a picture of a regular SSD somewhere here in the screen. You can buy one of those. And also, if you are more brave and you wanna use like Hive OS, which I'm using in one rig at the moment, you can find many videos how to install Hive OS on your rig. You can use one of these little flash drives. So you can see 32 will be more than enough to install Hive OS. You can go even lower to 16 gigabytes. So that you can use for your rig. You can mine 6 cars, no problem. I mean, that's it. That's for the hard drive. And the last, that's for the operating system. Remember, you can use something like this for Hive OS, which is Linux, and you can buy one of those or one of these SSDs. Okay, and you can install maybe Windows 10 on it. That would be nice if you want to use Windows. Okay, so, and the last, but the more important thing are the GPUs. I mean, which I haven't made any videos, so I can't suggest my videos. So I can suggest you other crypto gurus. I say gurus because they're really good. Like, there's some people that they do like crazy stuff, showing you what you can do. It's like priceless. It's a priceless information which is free on this platform. Like, if you guys have no idea of the information you can get these days, I experienced myself taking advantage of this information. So we have here, this is a 1070. With this one, probably you can mine. What I have learned too is not to look at the dollar value of the mining, my mining rigs. I look at them on the hash power and the amount of coin I'm making a day. So because that's gonna be different every single day. It's gonna be a different dollar value to the coin that I'm mining. So some days are gonna be more profitable, some days are gonna be less profitable. So I'm gonna repeat that on some of my videos so you guys keep getting what I'm trying to say. So we have GPUs like that, and we have different GPUs. So all the GPUs, what is universal on the GPUs is the risers. So all the risers are the same. You see, they use the same type of riser. So you can, like, I'm telling you this because this is a question that came to my mind one day. So, and I don't know if maybe I'm like hard-headed or something, but if it comes to your mind, like, this is universal. You can use this for any card. You can use it for like 1070 like this, and you can use it for like 3090. So it will work fine. I have tested myself. So not that I own a 3090, but so I borrow one, and they work. So that's being done, and also these little adapters that comes with the riser, also they are kind of universal. They work for any other. Just make sure to keep updated on the videos as I upload, because I think the next video is gonna be showing you how to, or just probably just filming me putting all these components together. So stay tuned for more, and that's it for this video, guys. I hope you catch what I'm trying to show you in this video, because it was basically for the guy they had never built a rig. This is literally these are the questions that I asked myself when I built my first rig. So, and I had all the trouble, even until today. Sometimes I have some questions, and I just try to put together the information I get, and I'm gonna just keep sharing it, and let's keep the good vibes going on, floating. And okay, guys, that's it for this video. We're gonna end it right here, and I'll see you back in the next one, if there is one. I hope there is. Alright, guys, take care, peace.